The year is 216 BC. The Mediterranean world trembles before the might of Carthage, led by one of the greatest military geniuses in history, Hannibal Barca. Hannibal, having marched his army across the Alps in a feat of logistics still marveled at today, had already crushed Roman legions at Trebia and Trasimene. Rome, desperate to stop the seemingly invincible Carthaginian general, levied a massive new army, determined to crush Hannibal and preserve their growing republic. The two forces representing the two dominant powers of the Western Mediterranean were on a collision course towards a place that would be forever etched in the annals of military history, Cannae. The stakes could not have been higher. For Rome, defeat meant the very real possibility of losing their hard-won position of power in Italy, perhaps even the destruction of their republic. For Hannibal, victory meant the potential collapse of Rome's ability to wage war, bringing him closer to his ultimate objective, the humbling of the Roman state. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, a brutal contest of arms that would determine the fate of the Mediterranean world for centuries to come. Facing Hannibal at Cannae was a Roman army of unprecedented size, led by the consuls Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro. Sources place the Roman army at around 80,000 men, a testament to the fear Hannibal instilled in the Roman Senate. These were not the legions of centuries past. Rome was a republic at war, and its citizens were expected to fight and die for its continued survival. The Roman army was largely made up of citizen soldiers fighting for their homes and families, their morale bolstered by the belief that their sheer numbers would overwhelm Hannibal's smaller, largely mercenary force. On the other side of the field stood Hannibal, a general whose name still inspires awe and respect. Outnumbered, outmatched in terms of resources and fighting thousands of miles from his home city, Hannibal's genius lay not just in his tactical brilliance but also in his ability to maintain the morale and fighting spirit of his diverse, multinational army. He commanded a force composed of Libyans, Gauls, Iberians and Numidians, each with their own fighting styles and loyalties. Yet under Hannibal's leadership, they functioned as a single, cohesive unit, bound by their respect for their general and their shared hatred of Rome. The Roman army at Cannae was a formidable force, primarily composed of heavy infantry known as legionaries. Armed with the gladius, a short sword designed for thrusting, and the pilum, a heavy javelin designed to pierce shields and armor, the Roman legionary was a disciplined and well-equipped soldier. Their usual tactic was to advance in a checkerboard formation, using their shields to create a wall of protection, and then unleash a volley of pila before engaging the enemy in close-quarters combat. Their strength lay in their discipline, their training, and their unwavering belief in the superiority of Roman arms. Hannibal's army, while smaller, was a diverse force with a variety of troop types and fighting styles. He had heavy infantry of his own, but his most formidable troops were his cavalry, drawn from the Numidian tribes of North Africa and the Celtic tribes of Gaul and Iberia. These horsemen were renowned for their speed, agility, and skill with the javelin, making them ideal for flanking maneuvers and harassing enemy formations. Hannibal also had a contingent of war elephants, massive beasts that could sow terror and confusion in enemy ranks. His plan was not to meet the Romans head-on, but to use his army's unique strengths to outmaneuver and trap his enemy. As the Roman army advanced, Hannibal deployed his forces in a crescent formation, with his weakest infantry in the center and his strongest troops, the Gallic and Iberian infantry, on the slightly bulging flanks. This seemingly suicidal deployment was the bait in Hannibal's trap. He knew the Romans, confident in their numbers and driven by a desire to crush him quickly, would throw themselves at the perceived weak center of his line. As the Romans advanced, Hannibal's center slowly gave ground, drawing the legions deeper into the trap. The Roman legions, their advance becoming more of a chaotic surge, pressed their attack, unaware that they were being drawn into a carefully constructed killing zone. As the Roman center advanced, Hannibal's cavalry, positioned on the flanks, launched a devastating attack on the Roman infantry sides. The Roman cavalry, already outnumbered, was quickly routed, leaving the flanks of the Roman army completely exposed. The trap was sprung.